We are here at the North Trailhead for the Hot Springs Creek Greenway. This is a familiar area to a lot of people, as is the person with me, Trails Coordinator Ken Freeman. Welcome, Ken.
Good morning, Terry.
Is it obvious what we're going to be talking about today, do you think?
We might have to explain it, but I think it's obvious.
I think it might be as well. Hot Springs has so much natural beauty to be enjoyed by bicycle, and a lot of the bicycle users, those various user groups that we're about to talk about, know about the bike infrastructure in Hot Springs. However, there are many that don't, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Ken, let's start off with the bike users in Hot Springs. There are many people that enjoy seeing the natural beauty of Hot Springs by bicycle. What are the groups that we have here in our community?
Well, Terry, I think it's appropriate that we're at Transportation Depot because as a transportation hub for different modes of transportation kind of take place here. And one of those user groups that we have are people that actually use the bus line and their bicycle in combination, and walking probably as part of it too. We have people that ride their bicycles here, park their bikes in one of the racks here, and then ride the buses someplace. And we have people that will ride their bikes here, put their bikes on the bike racks on the front of our intracity buses, and ride to their destination, and then ride from there to where they need to go. So we have people that use the bikes for transportation, for getting to work, getting to school, getting to places out at Mid-America Industrial Park to work or to school there. So we have a lot of users in that category, and people who use the Hot Springs Creek Greenway Trail and our other routes to get to and from work here in the downtown area. We have, of course, there are some children who use bikes to get to and from school. And of course we have that group of bicycle users, you know, who are more intense in their use of bicycles, and for going longer distances, for training, and for competition, and just for good general health and exercise.
Mm-hmm. Fitness-oriented types.
More fitness-oriented, yes. And you will most of the time recognize them by the fact they're wearing colorful clothes to be seen. They're actually riding faster than some of the prevailing traffic in downtown, and you know, it's kind of this more spandex crowd. You know?
Yes, very good. So we've discussed some of the various users of bicycles in Hot Springs. There's obviously got to be infrastructure to support those different types of users. Can you talk about the infrastructure that we have here?
Yes, Terry. The infrastructure we have here is based upon our city's Trails Master Plan, which was adopted back in 2001 by the city board, and it involves a network of bike routes and bike paths, multi-use pathways, and bike lanes, and a combination of all of those, and some shared use roadways as well, to provide what we hope, you know, is a safer place for that user group of our city to have a safe journey to and from our exercise.
So, in other words, the infrastructure that we have is quite planned. There's always long-range planning involved, and some of the signage that you see, etc., has been a long time coming.
Yes, it's not a static situation. It wasn't a build it all at once and there it is. It's an ongoing evolutionary process that sometimes you know, is painstakingly slow, I'm sure, to some people, but it is moving in a direction.
It's a good thing you're a patient man. Now, there's different areas in Hot Springs that have different types of infrastructure. Why is that?
The infrastructure that was planned for and that's implemented, is the ones that are, is based upon where it's anticipated that bicycle user groups need to go, and it's based upon what we consider the rider's ability that's going to those places, and upon the traffic in that area, motor vehicle traffic, the speeds that they would be using, and then there's always the physical constraints of the roadway widths and right-of-way widths, and what can be expanded or added to, and what is very difficult to add to.
And roadside parking, so many factors.
Yes.
So all of that factors into what type of infrastructure. Can you name some of those types of
Sure,
things that you're going to
sure.
see on the street that facilitate biking?
Yes, and I'll kind of start with the less constrained, I guess, or the less the less that you have to build, and that would be a shared use of a street, and and bicycles can use any street anywhere. It's not, they don't have to be on one that's designated, but ones we've designated as a bicycle route and just signed it as a route, and it may have nothing else on it but just the bicycle signs that say Route 1, Route 2, Route 3, whatever. Those have nothing else except those signs, and just letting motorists know and the bikers know that that is a route and they can follow it. Next up from that would be a shared use, but with a Sharrows painted on the ground, which is what we have down Central Avenue, because of the physical constraints of the roadway width and parking. And we have Sharrows emblems in the traffic lane, and as well as signage on the sides, and bicycle users know then that that is designated for them. They can be there, and motorists as well. The next step above that would be a bicycle lane, which would be the painted anywhere from 4 foot to 6 foot separated lane from the traffic lane, with a bike emblem in that lane and signage on the side of the road, from that, and then so those are basically the types of infrastructure that we have for bicycles.
I see. And an example of the latter, where you have the bicycle lanes, might be the finished areas of Higdon Ferry Road?
Absolutely. The area from Lakeshore Drive back to the north, back to Printer's Place, is in fact, a good example of that. It was in our plan. The highway department came in for the widening, so as part of that widening process, since it was in our plan, they went ahead and put the bike lanes on. And this next stretch from Printer's Place back to Crawford will also have the bike lanes on there as well, as will 7 South widening from the bridges on Lake Hamilton on 7 South out to Highway 290. When the highway department does that widening, it'll have the bike lanes on there as well.
That's just whetting the appetite, I think, of people out there that might be considering spending more time on a bicycle in Hot Springs. You can see that we do have amenities. They have been thoughtfully planned over the years, and it's a fluid situation, as you say. More and more is happening. Park Avenue being another great example of amenities that are being put in right now through the CDBG program and the city's efforts that are helping to make that area more bikeable, more enjoyable for bicyclists.
Yes, it's some of these areas which we start off with as being just a signed route. As things progress, and as Park Avenue becomes more of a complete street for pedestrians, motor vehicles, and bicycle users, that it'll gradually develop, and we'll have bike lanes on it. So it'll transition into what we consider to be the best option for there.
We're out of time, but there's obviously so much we can talk about in the area of bicycling. And don't forget the greenway that's behind us that's so enjoyable to be able to see the different areas. Each of the sections that have been developed over time have their own personality. You can often see Ken on bicycle in the area too, and I'm sure that you are a resource for people who might have questions about getting on their bikes and spending more of their time with this enjoyable activity. Is there a phone number where they can reach you if they have questions?
Yeah, either at the Park and Trails office is the good spot, you know, for that. 321-6871, or actually I have a phone on my desk. I hope that you know that I'm not in that office. I hope that I'm out here riding instead, but it's 321-4802.
And as Ken tells you, I mean, his voicemail is going to say, hopefully he's out on a trail and not in the office. Ken, thank you so much for telling us a little bit more about the bike infrastructure that we have in our community. And next week, we'll bring you more city news.